Welcome to Bedtime Stories with the Bedtime Cocktail. How y'all doing this evening? Happy Friday, happy end of February. We're about to go into March. Spring is coming. Let's get into this book. Okay, so now we are at chapter 33 and 34 of A Savage and His Lady. That's right. We're getting closer and closer to the end of this book, and it's good, child. Look, in this next chapter, okay, now we've already talked about the party and how De Niro had the nerve to bring that garden to Ivy to the party, knowing that Kyra was going to be there, but Kyra didn't mind. She was fly. She got a new attitude, a new hairdo. She was, look, she was slaying as she went through that party. Okay, whose party is it? Is it Dinah's or Kyra's? Child. Okay, okay. So she was fly. She didn't care. Okay, now, but at any rate, before we get into the recap of last week's chapter, going into these week's chapters, let's get into this bedtime cocktail. Okay, so the bedtime cocktail is going to be a frozen daiquiri. And I'm going to have my ingredients here. I have rum for the spirit. Peach is going to be the flavor of this frozen daiquiri. Simple syrup made from scratch, child. Some ice, and a topper of some maraschino cherries. Okay, and I probably said that incorrectly. So let's get into it. So first, what we need to do is add the spirit. Actually, what I want to do is I want to add the ice into my handy dandy blender right here. Okay, and I think I'm gonna kind of pre-crush a little bit of my ice here because those are some big chunks of ice. So hold on. Okay, so I just want to kind of pre-crush the ice so that it's already kind of already on the way. The liquor, the spirit is going to melt that ice down. It's just going to just melt it on down, and it's going to be easier to go. So we're going to put, child, it's Friday night, just got paid, party hunting. Well, the party's right here on Bedtime Stories. Okay, BTS right here. So I'm going to do 2 jiggers. That's right, I did 2. I'm living wild. Okay. Okay, I thought for a minute I might have dropped some Hennessy in there, but that's a lot. That's a whole lot. Okay. Oh, you know what I'm missing? Lime juice. Hold on for a moment. Child, you can't have a daiquiri without lime juice. It's like having a margarita without the lime juice. Okay, lime makes it work. Okay, so with that said, we got our lime juice, and we're gonna do 1 jigger of lime juice since we put 2 of rum. Now I'm using the real lime juice from concentrate. You can also get fresh limes. I think I'm gonna do a little half a jigger in there because I did put a lot of rum in that joint. Shoot, I barely have ice. I don't know if it's gonna be frosty. So I'm gonna put 1 jigger of simple syrup in there. Now, being that I'm not using, like I could have doubled up and do a half, but the less sugar you use in your cocktail, the less of a hangover you'll have, because that's really a hangover ain't nothing but a sugar crash. Can I say it again for the people in the back who didn't understand? it ain't nothing but a sugar crash, a really hard sugar crash. But I'm not a doctor, okay? Confirm it with your doctor. But I believe it's just a super sugar crash. Now we're gonna add flavoring of peach nectar with this Humex, Humex, Jumex, and I won't need that much sugar because the flavoring is going to be in there. So 1 jigger of that, and we're gonna blend this all up together. Child, I might need to add some ice. I do need to add some ice. Hold on. Old school ice tray. So I might have to end up emptying out some of this here. And see, I'm going to do this live. This is live and living color. Just so that I can add some ice. So I'm just putting some of this daiquiri in there so I can add my ice. Yeah, old school, I got an ice tray. When's the last time? Most refrigerators have the ice maker, and mine's do too. It came with it in this apartment. And child, one time I went to get some ice and I noticed that my drink it was kind of salty, or it had a crazy taste to it. And it was the ice. And I don't know what the filter was bad or whatever the situation, child. I don't know. I didn't see where I could put a new filter in there. I just said, let me get me ice trays. Go old school. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Well, that sound like, oh, you know why? Because the junk ain't on there good. Hold on, let me put the top on before I embarrass myself. Okay. Dang. Do I need to add the whole ice tray to get me some frothy, icy, Slurpee-esque type of slushy? Okay. Okay. I got it to the consistency I like. Let me put this top on again so I don't embarrass myself. And I was sitting up and had this in here all crooked, shredding up the little things at the bottom. So with that said, you're going to get you can have a daiquiri glass or a margarita glass like this. Let me go and put this ice to the side here. Okay. They ain't going to hurt nobody right there. And I'm going to line it with a little, see, that's why I really didn't need that much sugar. I'm just going to put it in that center right there. Just because it's going to be real pretty when I pour it in, right? That's the idea. We're going to put that right there like that. And we're going to pour our slushy daiquiri. Look at that. Peach with a little cherry in it. Oh, yeah. Pow with that. Let's get a little manna cherries in there. Manna cherries. He's like, what's a manna cherry? Don't worry about it. Ooh, there's my spoon. Let's get a couple of cherries and put that on top. Bat. It's sunk in there. Thank God it's just me. I can lick the spoon. Okay. Now, that we have our daiquiri, our frozen daiquiri. Oh yeah, that's dangerous. That's that dangerous joint. That's the one you're gonna get up from, and you go like, whoa, whoa. But thank God I could be whoa, whoa, right here in my own home. So, but if you do drink and you're out, out and about on the town, you outside, as you know, y'all be saying now, y'all outside, drink water, pregame with some water, okay? Auntie keeps a big ass thing of water. Now it's not full. That's because I've been drinking it. Okay? Drink your water, pregame with your water. I don't care how old you are, but especially when you're older, our drink tolerances is not the same. Drink water. If you're 20 years old, drink water. If you're 30 years old, drink water. If you're 77 drinking, drink water. Then have your spirit. That way you won't have as bad of a hangover because it's coming out of your system. But you will have to pee a lot. Just know that. That's because it's coming out. It's just flushing this out. Flushing that spirit right on out. It's coming through, coming through. All right? Now, let's get into this bedtime story. Okay, let's get into this bedtime story. But before we get started, you're probably wondering what you got here. What's that beautiful looking hand poured candles you got here? Well, yes, the sponsor of this podcast, this bedtime stories, is Remix Candles. Yes, created by me. That's right. Remix Candles is a is a candle company that upcycles vessels. So all of my vessels have a story. Okay, it had a past and it has a new future here with Remix Candles. So what I do is I upcycle vessels, salsa jars, jam jars, mason jars, cocktail glasses. I do. So I repurposed those glasses. A little short story of how it got started. Some may have heard some of the stories back in the day, but I was reminded recently, like the origin of Remix Candles started in Atlanta, Georgia, living on the east side of Atlanta. And I had an apartment that didn't have a fan. And I didn't know that the window could open. So, in order to keep a fresh bathroom, I started getting candles. And I started burning the candles, and the candles would leave wax, leftover wax, and I would melt it down, like put it, over some water and melt it down. And I said, I could make a whole nother candle with the wax I have left over. And so I was like, I ordered some wicks, and then I thought, well, let me get a whole candle kit. And their Remix Candles was birthed. Now, how did I get into repurposing my vessels? Well, your girl have a tendency to collect empty jars. Like when I was done with my jam jars or my queso jars from my queso dips and things of like that, relish jars, glass jars, real glass jars, I would collect them because I believed I can always repurpose them into something else to hold my hair clips or my pencils or something like that. But that wasn't what it was. Well, when I was coming on with this, to make the candles, I said, you know what? I got a whole cabinet full of empty mason jars and salsa jars and all that type of stuff that I've collected throughout the months. I can use them. Hi, they're not going into, I can give them new life with some a wax and a wick. You know what I'm saying? And then I got, I'm still perfecting my scent throws, but my sense has been, I'm telling you, my bergamot has been very popular with the customers that I've sold to today. To date, my grape is a fan favorite for sure. And Love Spell, people like it. It's a nice, very soft scent. Um, if you believe in burning candles to bring in a certain type of energy, well, this love spell bring in the love in the home with a soft love spell scent. It smells like the Victoria's Secret, I think, body spray or perfume fragrance called Love Spell. It smells very similar to that. So these are my 3 springtime scents that I'll be making more of. This is the love spell is continuing into the spring from Valentine's Day. These are most of my candles. These my repurposed vessels are between 10 ounces and 35 ounces. And they go, I mean, not 35, between 10 ounces and 15 ounces. And the 35 it's $35 for the 15 ounces and 25 for the 10. These are hand poured. I use sustainable waxes like soy wax, coconut soy wax, coconut blend wax. I have dabbled in paraffin, like this candle is a paraffin, but I really don't like the premise of using it because it is not it's a bit of a toxic burn. You know, it's just not healthy to burn a lot of it. And child, look, let me tell you something. It hardens so it solidifies so beautifully. I mean, it is beautiful. But child, don't ever burn this wax because it's a toxic scent in your home that will ooh. And when I say burn, I'm talking about like you, not like with the wax and the candles. That's different. But like making it and you heat it up too high, not call it burning it. It kind of like it just child. So, but as a candle, it still smells great, but I don't feel comfortable selling those to you. So I do have the same scent, very, very grapefruity. It smells like not a lifesaver, a now later, a grape now later. Yeah, like candy. Okay, but I do have this in coconut soy and soy wax. I do have that in that with that, but my paraffin, I'm not gonna do it unless you want it. Now, if you want it, I'll do it for you. But I like to stay away, veer a little bit away from the paraffin wax. With that said, I'm gonna go ahead and light this one before we get started, just to help set the atmosphere. Because my candles don't just smell good, they don't just look good, they make love good. Okay, they James Brown are the hardest working candles in the business. Okay, no, for real though, my candles don't just smells good, but it sets the atmosphere. That warm, safe and secure home vibe. And you will want to light one of these candles, dim the lights, and just vibe out. Look, my candles are meant to burn, but I also have wickless candles that you can just warm up and still get the wonderful fragrance. So now that I'm done with my little commercial, we're going to get into chapter 30. Was it 33 and 34? Now, okay, where's my, it can't be a bedtime story without a bedtime cocktail. Okay, I think I'm going to get a straw real quick. You said like, hurry up and get to it. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. I got one of these straws, mini straws I get from Starbucks. And I'm going to just cut that like this and like that. Tear this open and put that right there like that. So I can just, I can, I cut that too short. Ooh, sorry. ASMR. A little more ASMR. We're going to put that there and let the candle set the atmosphere. Matter of fact, let me turn off some of the lights. Y'all wait for a minute. There it is. There it is. Test the light for the camera light. I should turn off the light, but then you wouldn't see me because I'm dark and lovely. Okay. So, okay. Let's go back to chapter 33. Well, let's do a little recap, just a little recap. At the end of chapter 32, I went too far back. And I like to be in the book, in the chapter, in case I just have to reference something real quick. So, okay. So the end of 32 is Diamond's party. Kyra gets turned up after fighting and whooping up on Ivy's behind. Okay. I'm not sure if I want to be cussing Karen over here or so sometimes I might say a euphemism and some, the more I drink, the more I slip. Okay. Anyway, child. So at the end of this is the chapter 32 was about Diamond's birthday party. But she came in, she wasn't filled, you could tell she was mad. And it's supposed to be her birthday party. She should boast them like, turn up for what? Turn down for what? Right? But she looked like she wanted to fight. And she got a chance to at least slap somebody at the end of chapter 32 or close to it. So fast forward, De Niro comes, Kyra comes, she looking good, he looking good, he brung his hoe, she goes to her side dude that makes De Niro jealous and everything, whatever the situation, but she looking good, whatever, da da da. Her and Ivy get into it. She, it is a Savage and a Lady, and Kyra is the lead in this one. So if it was a movie, Kyra whooped up on her behind. And in the book, it does give that she was the better fighter than Ivy. Then Maceo broke it up. And but De Niro was watching catfight, and Maceo was like, I ain't gonna have him fight. De Niro's like, get your hands off my woman, get your hands out of my pocket. And he's like, whatever, man, I'm not gonna have these women fighting. This is my cousin's birthday. This is not what she wants for her birthday. All right, she already in the mood anyway. So, and then Diamond's like, it's my birthday, bitch. Okay. She walks over there, slaps fire out of Ivy, because of course, she's Team Kyra. And after she did that, she tells De Niro, you got a meeting at my house tomorrow. Okay. Be there real soon. Anyway, you got to be a Gen X for sure to know what tone I was going with that one. But anyway, so Kyra, I'm going to keep looking down and I want to make sure my mic is still on. So Kyra, they continue the party. She gets drunk as a skunk. This is a theme for her in this book. She is always getting towed down. Okay. And at the end of the chapter 30, wait a minute, hold on. Before I say what I'm about to say, I don't want to be lying. Okay. At the end of chapter 32, De Niro drops Ivy off, probably never seeing her again. and goes to Kyra's parents' house, the mother and father, Lydia, to stay with his kids. He just wanted to spend time with his children. Kyra's out there shaking behind like it's her birthday. Throwing it up with the next Negro. Okay. And he just wanted to be with his kids. And, Kyra's mom obliged because she's Team De Niro. So that's what he ended up doing. Kyra partied her behind off and got drunk as hell. Okay. And then we're in chapter 33. In chapter 33, it starts off with Kyra being drugged out of the party by Maceo. When I say drugged, not really, well, she was drunk as hell. And he was like, come on. She was a hand. And she's like, she could only remember him in parts, but she knew that he was the one who got her, he took her home or took him to his hotel room. And, because she was drunk. It's she wakes up to, she said, she wakes up to being pleasured down near him. Okay. He was given the sloppy toppy, if you know what I'm talking about. Nya, 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 nya. Shout out to Tony Baker. Right? And she's like, oh, what the hell? Keep going, though. Don't stop, get it, don't stop, get it. Okay. And, he's like, I heard the best way to get over. He's like, I heard the best way to get over a hangover is to skeet. She's like, let's find out. Okay. And so they started to get it in for some morning loving. Okay. And she on time, she like, You know what I was doing on the dance floor last night? In real life. I know, I'm a whole fool, y'all. Okay. And she started to feel warm. And then she started to feel the gurgling build up in her stomach and come up her esophagus. And while she was backing that thing up, she also vomited. She threw up. She was backing it up and threw up all over Maceo. Oh, let me tell you. Ooh, talking about embarrassing. But, Maceo took it on the chin. He's like, girls, I didn't like you. Now, this is dangerous waters because Diamond already told Kyra to watch out. If you're not done with De Niro, don't play with my cousin, yo. He's a different breed, okay? And that gives, like, he might off your man to be with you type of, he's a different breed. So after, after the backing it up and vomiting up and backing it up and vomiting up, okay, she goes to take a shower. She takes the soil sheets off the bed, calls room service to have them, give him some new sheets because it's his. Because she home. They in Nashville. Okay. So she's like, she takes a shower. He takes a shower. He's like, so what you got? What you getting into? He said, I got some big business. Put his hair up. When a man got locks and he putting his hair up, that he about to go to work. And I ain't talking on that. Okay. So he's like, oh, she said, I could tell it's serious. He said, can I know what it is? He said, I'd rather not tell you. He said, well, I could take a cue to say less. I am intrigued, but if you say not to, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he takes her to her car. So I'm assuming she left her car at the party. And she goes home. Well, she goes to go pick up her kids. And guess who is at the place? Well, I just told you at the end of chapter 32, De Niro was there. And she's like, oh, I really don't feel like dealing with this dude. You know what I'm saying? So she gathers her strength and she goes in, and her mom says, oh, you're just in time for breakfast. Wink, wink, wink. Okay. And she's like, my mom ain't slick. I know what she's up to. She's trying to, matchmaker type of situation. So she goes in, she kisses her baby Danelle, who's watching cartoons, never took a move. You know how kids are at this point. She's a good 5 years old. So she's watching cartoons. It's like, hey mom, it's nothing new. It's every day. She goes in the kitchen. De Niro's there feeding Cairo. And so basically mom was like, y'all need to talk. Y'all need to stop, whatever. Well, she started off, she shot shots first. She meaning Kyra. She said to, oh, I see you must have you didn't spend your time with your hoe. And that's when her mom lost it. Look, watch your mouth. Okay. And that's when she started cussing and fussing and being mad at them for not wishing that they would get over their differences. You know what I'm saying? As the fact that both of y'all cheated at one time, get over it, and y'all know y'all love each other. Stop playing games with each other, right? And Kyra is like, what? I mean, I know mom's is team De Niro, but dang, mom, you like, you cussing and fussing, you telling me to watch my mouth, but then she's like, this is my house. She pulled rank. You know how mamas do. And she looked at her father. Her father like, my name is Benny and I ain't in it. Okay. But he eventually also expressed his feelings about the situation. And Kyra's at the end of chapter 33 really has something to consider. So she really took her parents' advice seriously, like how she's going to move forward. If she's not trying to be with De Niro, you know. So moving into chapter 34, okay, it starts off with Diamond's commentary talking about like she's feeling very betrayed. She done found out what De Niro and Nitro had done. And I don't know if I told y'all. I believe I did, but last time we found that De Niro knew where his son was all along while Kyra was looking for him, and was actually accusing him of not doing anything to try to find their son. It's like he didn't have to do anything because he knew where he was, and he was paying Maria to. I mean, not Maria. She was paying Gabby to keep the baby safe. But he didn't want to tell her because then she would have, done something, and they was trying to kill, you know what I'm saying? They was trying to take out anything because he had done a bad deal with Nitro, right? So Diamond is expressing her side of it, feeling betrayed because De Niro never came to them about it. And now you got all this going on, and we should have known because we're the head of the Nashville cartel unit of the St. Clairs, and you just went on the side and you did some whacked out stuff. So they had Maria and Hector, who he had done a deal with. It's a whole thing. Him and Nitro had the deal. It didn't go well. They was, you know what I'm saying? It was a whole thing. she was like, she was furious because she felt betrayed. That's the whole thing. So people are starting to come in for the meeting. Hector and Maria, De Niro shows up, and he's kind of nervous, but he has a big joker in his pocket, and it's called Van Maceo St. Clair, Diamond's daddy. You're like, well, if he's still alive, why is she running it? Because he's retired. He didn't really have to, but he is coming out. And De Niro called on him to help out in this situation. And he did save his booty cheeks. He did. Because Maceo was there to take him out for dinner forever. He was trying to sell him the farm, if you know what I mean. They're always talking about people buying the farm. They don't talk about the ones that sell it to them. And if you don't understand that reference, that is talking about unaliving. Someone bought the farm means someone is no longer here, living and breathing, right? That was big sip. So they have the meeting. He tells them, I don't only have your money, I have more than enough. Here's my duffel bag. Okay. And so Maria looks to it. So this is way more than what yeah. And I'm pretty sure that will be enough to cover my debt. Okay. But it's not about that. They were saying it's not about that. You did bad deals. He's like, well, before you go any further, let me pull my phone out and call the man, not even the man next to the man, just the man. And he calls, he puts Van Maceo on the phone, he puts them all in check and say, look, half of that money is my money. And to reject my money is to reject me. He doesn't say that. If you want to know exactly what it said, get the book. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. Last time I checked, I got this one off of Amazon. Okay. And so basically, because Van Maceo stepped in and he says to his daughter, Diamond, I'm sorry, I had to step in, but I had to handle that. He said, I love you. She said, I love you too. It's all good. Okay. So Maria and Hector, oh, by the way, Van Maceo is like, it wasn't even him that tried to do what he did. Your beef was with this cartel because they was the one who stole the money and the goods. Word. So Maria said, "You said the host, the who and who? All right, bet. All deals, you good, De Niro? I'm out." Well, so of course there has been some reveals of some bad guys that was in there. David, if you've been following me earlier, Kyra took him down, okay, to the farm that he bought, okay. She took him right on down there to that farm that he bought, and that's when Diamond found out that Maria, who she thought was a good girlfriend of hers, was trying to her best friend Kyra. So now she's side-eyeing her. But anyway, so moving on, they get past that whole situation. And De Niro is like, okay, not Maria, Diamond was like, I wish you told me. I still wish you should have came to us. But and King was like, we about to take a back seat and I need someone we can trust to run it. So basically, De Niro is up for running the Nashville chapter of the St. Clair cartel. So that's what was the end result. But he knows it is going to be very risky once he tells Kyra, which he has to. Diamond has is basically like, dog, you need to tell Kyra, that you knew all along where your child was, and that this was the situation. And I was paying off Gabby, you know. So that's why I wasn't tripping, because I knew all along where he was. And I believe he's afraid that she's going to leave him. But he needs to know, she needs to know, and she basically said, you need to be the one who tell her. Because if Maceo tells her, you can guarantee he's gone. She gone. You are not going to get your family back. You're not going to get your family back. So that's where it ends with chapter 33, ended with Kyra thinking about how she's going to move forward. And chapter 34 ends with De Niro, preparing to do what he needs to do to move forward, right? There it is. So, boom and back. That's the end of chapter 33 and 34. And I will see you for 35 and 36. Y'all have a good one. I hope you enjoyed your daiquiris that you made at home. You can find my candles on Etsy at Remix Candles at Etsy.com. Go there and you'll be able to see my candles. You can choose what type of fragrance that you want. Do you want fruity? Do you want floral? Soon to come, my website where you can see all the fragrance I have currently and what you can make your candles, and my up-and-coming event on March 4th, I believe it's 14th and 15th, or 15th and 16th, that weekend. I'll be in Glendale at the Tanger Malls with my candles. Come out there and get them. $35, $25. Come on, let's get out there. See all that I have to offer. So, y'all have a wonderful one. Thank you again. And y'all have a blessed evening. Bye.